now we basically have Jack advising Lock, Shock, and Barrel to go off and do something secret, which is basically capture Santa. We need the Santa Claus.
Sandy Claus.
Sandy Claus. It's simple. We get the Sandy Claus. So they head off and have completely no idea what the hell they're going to be doing. They have their little song that... And to be honest with you...
Love, as I said to you before, every fucking song in this movie was brilliant. It was fucking perfectly written for these characters. Fucking brilliant.
I'm not a big fan of this song, in fairness.
Jamie.
Shut the front door. I'm not a big fan of this song because it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and they're just rhyming things with like a very simple tune in the back.
But it's not. It's the fact that they're Oogie Boogie's henchmen, and you see it perfectly in this like song. The fact that they're like getting their fucking axes and like how horrifying they are. Where like the scorpions on your man's fucking head and the bathtub fucking walking. Like, that's some fucking weird shit, like.
Well, I was just about to say, like, they do look pretty terrifying looking. That guy with the big blue mouth, that's Barrel, isn't it?
But you notice that they look the same without the masks as they do with the masks. Like, that shows that they're, like I was saying, are these kids or are these fucking just, what are they?
But that's the thing, like, there is kids in it. So, how are these people procreating? God damn it.
Can't talk with that. Oh.
I bet Jack gives Sally a bone. Or
it's too easy.
That was too easy. It was too easy.
Yeah. You're better than that, Jamie. You're better than that.
I'm better than that. You deserve more respect from yourself, man.
Yeah, I can't even look at you right now for making that joke.
I can't even look at you in the camera right now. I'm gonna hide your camera. So yeah, they basically see, this is again the thing. They're like, yeah, no problem, Jack. We'll do this perfectly fine. He's like, don't tell Oogie. He's like, yeah, no problem. And then they just completely ignore him and then go, yeah, we'll just fuck with him and we'll basically. They threaten to kill him.
No account, Oogie Boogie. Keep him out of this.
But they're basically like frying up spiders in oil and being like, yeah, we're gonna do this to Santa. And I'm like, why do they know what's good and bad?
I don't think Tim Burton has ever been asked the real question about this movie. Like, what was the motive?
I'm gonna have to ask him. Someone at Tim on Twitter. Wait, Derry, when you're putting this up, when we put this to YouTube,
timestamp it right now.
Timestamp it right now. Tim, does Jack have any sense of morality? Does he know what the difference between good and bad is? That's what I want. Does anybody in Halloween Town? Because it seems like every other town. Well, we haven't seen Valentine's Day Town or the St. Patrick's Day Town. They probably have no morality either. But they at least know they have no morality. They're getting off on it. Jack, probably he doesn't know. Or does he? Mr. Burton. I'm looking at you, sir.
Mr. Burton.
No, he's not a sir. He's no Patrick Stewart. He's a sir. So yeah, we then get the part where it all starts to kind of kick off. We're basically into Act 3. Into Act 3 now. We had the first part with Jack getting all the exposition for the characters and finding out what they're about, finding out Jack's a little bit sad, and then he finds what he wants to do, Christmas Town. We're into Act 2 after that, and him trying to find out the meaning of Christmas. We don't even know the point of the story at this point. There's no really overarching bad guy. We're already into Act 3. We're kind of into Act 3 now, and we're only kind of being introduced to the bad guy at this part. So, really, for a film, you know, it isn't a traditional have a problem, try and fix the problem, someone try and stops you from fixing the problem, you have to overcome the person and then thus overcoming the problem. Jack creates his own problem by completely misunderstanding everything, carries it out, fails, and then comes back to fix his own mistake. Effectively, he effectively creates the whole. Hey, there you are. You're lovely looking now, Darren.
Lovely looking man, the proper camera now.
There
Aren't
you
they
are.
just gorgeous? Aren't they just gorgeous?
Gorgeous, gorgeous. So
Anyway, what are we saying?
what I'm saying is that it's not a traditional explain the characters, have the problem, look for the solution of the problem, but then someone tries to prevent you from looking from the solution of the problem, and then you overcome the person and the problem at the end. So that's kind of like your 4-act structure. Whereas this, it doesn't run with that. Like the bad guy is introduced in Act 3, and Jack has put himself in that predicament. So it's like here's where we start to get into like stay in your box from this film. I think is like don't try and look for anything better. And maybe that's just a weird message that I'm getting from it, but it just feels like that's what it keeps coming off as. Don't go out and explore. Or do go out and explore, realize that it's the wrong thing for you, and then just stay here. What is actually funny? No, actually, you know what? Come to think about it, Tim Burton has this kind of as a running theme. Ultimately,
Tim
Beetlejuice.
Burton doesn't like to go in his box. Tim Burton likes to stay in his comfort zone.
But in Beetlejuice, people were literally sticking to their old routine, staying old-fashioned in a house and never being able to leave again, and that was the happy ending. So maybe this is a running theme for Mr. Burton. But yeah, we get a little bit of a move on. We see that Oogie Boogie is like obviously this bad person or this bad guy, and
I mean, he's a fucking cool guy.
he is actually the coolest.
He is the fucking coolest guy ever.
They throw him in this kind of whole. I love the kind of art style for it. It's like
kind of so good.
It's like one of those African kind of masks.
Yeah.
It's the art style in the movie starts to change when they go down to Oogie Boogie, and I like that as well. It kind of gives you a new flavor of everything. You're not stuck in the same thing over again. We're still stuck with that feckin' trio. They hop in a bathtub and then they leave. I don't like them. I'm glad they're gone. I'm trying to skip through this part now. Hang on a second. And then we see a little bit of a shadow of Oogie Boogie again, as we did in the Moon.
Start of it.
At the start of it. So the movie starts to actually pick up a little bit of pace now at this point. There's not a lot that really is left in the movie itself. Sally tries to prevent he tries to prevent Jack from going off and wanting to do this.
Oh yeah.
So she's like, no, don't go off and do the thing you love because I feel like it's the bad decision. I seen it in a flaming flower.
Tree.
All of the character motivations in this film are very poor for if you think about it. They're really not doing like nobody in this film does anything for anybody but themselves. The mayor is selfish. He wants to get elected, but he has no fucking idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
Jack is like the most famous person in town, but doesn't give a shit about anybody and just wants to make everybody do his own thing.
Yeah.
Sally is like poisoning her abusive husband and then tries to stop Jack from actually doing something that, as far as she's aware, is the right thing, effectively. Other than her premonitions. So she goes to warn Jack, don't do it, Jack. I had seen it in a dead flower. And he's like, hey, but you haven't seen this cool drawing I did of myself. So, bitch, go sew it for me. He does like a Spider-Man, basically. He draws up his little suit. And as far as I'm aware, was it Aunt May that made that suit in like the original?
In the original Spider-Man?
Yeah, was it Peter Parker that made his own suit?
Oh, Peter made it.
Oh, right, okay. Well, anyway.
Let's not go to Spider-Man now because I have so much to talk about right now. What's going on with the news and the fucking... Let's not go right there, right? Okay.
Let's not. So
talk about like Another 8 hours of Spider-Man.
We then get Sally, trying basically to have poor old Jack not follow his dreams, and he's like, he basically takes none of it. He's like, don't worry, I'm Santa. That's effectively it. I have a plan. Then the trio come back, and they're like, yep, we got him. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen,
We got him.
we got him.
We got him.
Mission accomplished. The 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 bunny.
It's the fucking Easter bunny, yeah.
It's the Easter bunny. That doesn't look like Santa at all. They've gone in the completely wrong door. I wish they brought back a leprechaun. I wish they did. And he was like, come on, see it, and he was like, oh, get over it. Oh, it's punching. Oh, come on now.
Oh, you can be Irish.
So yeah,
Kiss
like
me.
the guy with the axe in his head. I love his facial expression. He's just looking down at the rabbit like, doesn't say a thing. I'm like, I love that guy. The rabbit is wearing a sash. Did you notice that? There's like a little sash on.
Why not?
And Jack gets a little bit pissed off and starts apologizing, going, I am so sorry, sir. There's been a huge mistake. Get this man back to where he belongs. Then Jack heads off, and this is where we get to see the Doctor creating his new wife.
Yeah, he puts half his brain in her fucking head.
Yeah. And it's like, he's like, finally, at least someone will have something in common with. It's like, you made Sally.
Yeah.
So again, it's like this, like everybody's doing something selfish for themselves.
What does he say? We'll have conversations worth having.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
but you made her. You should her. What are you talking about?
I made you. He says throughout the whole entire film, I made you. And then it's like, I fucking hate you now.
Do you think it's because she's like young and beautiful? She was only made for like one thing.
Yes, because the next one that she makes is like prim and proper and wheels him around in the chair. So
yeah,
it's like she looks like the Bonnie Boiler type. It's like, I'll have all of his money when he dies. That kind of a... Even though they're all dead, you can't obviously think past the fact that they're dead. But anyway, so he gets to work on the reindeer, and everybody's getting ready in town for making everything look Christmassy. Where did they get all the Christmas stuff? I don't know, but there they go.
I said that today. Where did they get the decorations out of? Where did they come out of?
and how do they know to abbreviate it to Xmas so fast? Sorry, I didn't realize my light.
Oh my god! No, actually, one of the books that Jack was reading was called Xmas.
Oh, okay.
Where'd he get the books? Christmas Town? Did he just steal all their books?
Robbed everything from Christmas Town.
How will they know what Christmas is if they don't have books in Christmas Town to read about Christmas Town? So now we get the cool little song where everybody's making the toys, and the vampires make the little duck with the teeth. Like I was saying to Derry earlier on, Darren, do they think these are going to be enjoyed? Or are they purposely doing it to harm people?
Well, I think every one of the creatures, people, whatever they call the inhabitants of Halloween Town, are still in the thought of frightening people. But when Jack was like, it can be what did he say? The baby. That's no sound for a baby to make. And your man says,
yes,
maybe it can be improved on. So I think they're all still trying to scare people, but they don't really understand what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, like I think that's a good point where they say like we can improve it. It's like it's okay. I understand it's maybe fine, but we can make it much better than that.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
But again, they all miss the meaning of it. It's not necessarily the gift in and of itself. It's the giving of the gift.
Yes.
So Jack is delighted. Everybody's ready for Christmas, Halloween. Everybody's getting ready, getting all their presents ready. And then we switch over to Santa again. And everybody in Christmas Town are getting presents ready as well. So our second little shot of like a comparison between what the elves are doing and what Jack's minions or Jack's entourage, I suppose, are doing at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a cool little transition between the differences between what is a nice thing and what is a bad thing. We are kind of again given no impression that these are two different sides. Like there's a good side and a bad side. It looks like there's like they're trying to compare them. Like, look, these are these Christmas Town people and the Halloween Town people are doing the same thing. If it was a film to make, if this was a film, let's say, where Jack was the bad guy and he was trying to ruin Christmas, this would work as a look what they're doing to stop Christmas and look what the Christmas Town people are trying to do to save Christmas. But it doesn't look like it doesn't work like that. It looks like it's running in parallel effectively, which I like. So we eventually get Jack about to take off. And Santa also getting captured. Gets stuffed into a sack and then brought back to Halloween Town. Jack is having a little bit of an argument with Sally again. And Sally decides to... What's the name of the jar? It's like a fog jar?
Frog breath.
No, the fog.
Oh, I've no idea.
So it's a jar of fog, I believe. And when she releases it, oh yeah, so Santa comes along beforehand. Santa in this is a bit grumpy.
I knew too.
He has a legitimate reason to be a bit grumpy, but he actually is genuinely a bit pissed off with Jack, like near the end. He's like, I have to fucking do this shit now. So there's a long preamble, basically. They go on and on and on and on and on about bits that we've kind of explained already. Santa gets shoved down into the hole for Oogie Boogie, and because that's where he would be safest, technically. Why? I don't know. But he'll be safe. Nobody will find him down there.
Wouldn't that make sure he's comfortable, and Oogie Boogie's is the most comfortable place?
Is that what they say? That it's the most comfortable place?
That is what they say.
So...
It ain't true, though.
It ain't true. We do now get the Oogie Boogie song.
Yeah, we do. The best song in the whole show.
And this is kind of like one of those, again, where you have the big boss that owns a big casino, and this is like his casino club, effectively. That's like it's an old time film that has these particular songs and tropes in them.
Yeah.
After the Oogie Boogie song, anybody want to comment on the Oogie Boogie song?
Loved the animation. I thought the animation on this was probably the best animation in the whole movie.
I like the fact that it's glow in the dark.
UV.
Yeah, it's like all of it's UV, and they have a lot of skeleton artwork. I kind of get it like that Mexican, Spanish, Latin skeletons around the place.
But his movement is especially good in this.
It's like a New Orleans feel almost, that kind of a way.
Yeah, kind of voodoo-y.
Yeah, exactly. Voodoo, exactly. Like even with the mask and everything that's on the with the hole for Oogie Boogie, kind of reminds me a lot of voodoo. They got snake eyes and everything like that. I think like kind of obviously the fact that there's lots of snakes and the fact that he gambles. So Sally produces a load of fog, and then everybody's really sad. Jack won't be able to set flight. And then coincidentally, his ghostly dog has a shiny red nose to lead the way. Like very Rudolph. I know, right? So they set sail for the skies of Earth. And how they get there, I've no idea, but they do.
It's just what it is. It is what it is.
No, but it isn't what it is. Because technically, how did they get to Valentine Land by sky?
Well, like that's another one of those things where you just have to you just have to agree with what they're doing.
No,
Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to agree. I don't have to
Suspend your
agree.
disbelief.
27 years later, I'm allowed to disagree with this film. Sally has her
Jamie,
sad
if
song.
you're agreeing with this, if you're disagreeing with this movie, there's something seriously fucking wrong.
I
We're having an
disagree with
argument.
Jack. I disagree with Jack in this film highly.
So, like, is
Yeah,
the
you
only
don't have to
way
watch for
to
this fact, Aaron.
is the only way to Christmas Land through those doors, or is there another way? Or like they fucking did it fly up in the air, or what the fuck is?
They can't. The only way through Christmas Land can't be through that door, because then how
Okay.
does Santa get to Earth?
Yeah, see, that's the fucking like. There's questions I don't want to ask because they're just like, no, let's not ask those
Like, is
questions.
Christmas Town on Earth?
Could be.
Nah, could be is not a definitive answer.
But see, I said this
Well,
earlier, and because Santa says, "Have you never heard of peace and love for oh, what is it? What's the
All
saying?
men on Earth.
Goodwill on earth or something?" Yeah.
And also, here's a question: why does Jack like? Who are they scaring? Do they get to go into? Is it like Monsters Inc?
no, I think it's just. I don't know. You're asking. You're delving too much into it.
You need to come up with answers, dude. That's what I'm asking you the tough
No,
questions.
I think it's just. I
You
think it's not
you
like.
watch the backstory on this.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
learning.
Well, I know the way in Christmas Town they have like kids there and fucking they obviously children throw snowballs and stuff throwing
Yeah, are those
heads
dead children?
there. So I assume in Halloween Town they have kids there. Like I assume they are like the kids that are, you see the kids in it like that. Your man has the fucking his eyes sewn shut like that. I presume they're the kids that are being scared, obviously. Or it's like it's more of a celebration than it is a fearful thing in Halloween Town.
Yeah, but they scare people.
Maybe they travel through different doors often to
So
scare
it's like
people.
it is like Monsters Inc. then,
That could be,
right?
could be now.
Hey,
There could
hey,
be
hey,
now
Disney.
there.
Hey,
There could be
Disney.
now.
You're
Sorry.
plagiarizing yourselves.
Well, oh yeah, no, Disney owned Pixar at the time, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, very good. So we then move on to Jack coming down all the chimneys and scaring the absolute crap out of poor children. Delighted with himself, as the police are being called. This is where you start getting introductions like as adults. You get introductions of adults without the faces. I was just telling Derry earlier on. It's like Charlie Brown, but like you can
Yeah.
hear their voices. I kind of
Yeah.
I like that the fact that you don't get to basically see their faces. It adds kind of a child element to it. You know, that kind of where you only get to see children
Yeah.
and Santa basically.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So riding around and all the people in the houses start basically the military are called in. Shit gets real. People start locking their doors. The police are getting fucking phone calls every second about, I don't know, toys coming to life and start attacking their children. So here's the other thing now. So now they're all looking into this big well of water back in Halloween Town about Jack in the sky, and they're all getting worried about him because basically the military are firing mortar shells at his sleigh. There's like air raid sirens. And then we get Jack basically getting blown out of the sky.
Literally blown out of the sky. Yeah.
Literally blown out of the sky. We have a little bit of Sally trying to break into Oogie Boogie's place and then trying to capture Santa out again. I don't really know why she does that.
But she's trying to like say she realized like he's the only one to save Jack, but I find it very funny that like in the middle of all this you have this whole sexual innuendo thing like where
With the leg.
he turns around, he's like, "Hey," he's rubbing the leg and he's like,
Hey baby, tickle tickle tickle, oh tickle tickle tickle.
very provocative, like for a
It,
fucking like kids.
it's a naked leg that pops out.
It's been a while since I've tickled a leg.
I
Beetlejuice.
love the way he flips the fuck out though. He like grabs the leg and starts like rubbing around the place like nobody dupes Oogie, and turns around and sees Santa being hoisted up by Sally, and then captures Sally. So
Yeah, and breathes them both in.
yeah, like, and again, Sally's motivations aren't like, oh, better save Christmas. It's like, better stop Jack from doing his thing. Jack plummets down into a graveyard and then has one of those kind of finale songs um, that you basically again see in those big musicals. Like it's very
Yeah,
like you could see that
but
on
they,
stage with the
it's
statue,
very, it's very Broadway.
very Broadway.
Yeah.
Um, I
What
just
have I done? What have I? It's ridiculously Broadway.
but that's what I'm talking about. It just reminds me of those Les Miserables films or whatever, or musicals, where
Yeah,
it's very kind of well paced, big voice,
yeah, yeah.
and Danny Elfman. I'm still impressed. So after this, so this is where I kind of lost all respect for Jack. He's basically like everything I do ends up being wrong, and we know that's not true. So he's like just being depressed for no reason, really, isn't he? Seriously,
No,
he's like loved
he's
in the
not.
town. He's like a huge celebrity, and he's like, oh, everything
He's not.
turns out wrong. I'd never win.
If you hear of any celebrities talking, they always say that. It's like Justin Bieber's new song is the fucking that lonely song. He's like, about I was on my own, even though I had all this. It's all
Oh,
about being so famous, but I know, yeah,
What I was
but
that's
it's
good.
but
that's
it's
how I
speaking about
felt about Jack. That's how I
yeah,
felt. I was like, oh,
it's
poor
about
Jack.
so
Yeah, when
famous and
you have
so well
people like
loved, but
Chester Bennington and
yeah,
Chris Cornell,
but you can be surrounded by so many people but feel so lonely, as they all say. And that's obviously what he felt. And I realize I'm talking about a fucking cartoon character. But
See,
no,
like,
no, that's where I want you to go, Darren. That's where I want you to go.
yeah,
Pull
but
that
like, but like,
thread. Pull it, pull it, pull it.
yeah, yeah. But he like was so fucking lonely. But like, that's what he just wanted. He wanted like, he was as go back to it. He was missing something. He didn't know what he was missing, and this filled the void. Well, he thought it was going to fill the void, but didn't. Clearly.
Ah, that's something I haven't thought about before.
Yeah.
Filling a void. It's like he's obsessed with the superficial. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's like
like
it's
that's
like if this was a drama, let's say, it's like that his equivalent of going out and trying to do Christmas. It's like he's trying to go to the club all the time. He's trying to get his friends to go out with him, and they're like, nah, we all have children to take care of,
yeah.
I
and
think
they're like,
he's
I
like
don't know how to do
looking
this
for
thing.
a different type of attention. Like he wants the attention, but he's not getting it from. He's not
Yeah.
fulfilled from what he's doing. So he goes and tries and find the attention somewhere else in a similar kind of way. He's used to being the person that everyone kind of looks at, and then he goes to Christmas Town, and he loves that idea. So he wants to be the person there, which is Santa.
Fulfillment.
The
Yeah,
what?
He's looking for total fulfillment, is what he's looking for. And obviously, what he's getting from Halloween Town was,
that ain't it.
well, this is it. Well, it's not. It's not, wasn't it? Like, and then, but in the end of it, obviously, he realizes everything I needed, I had all along. But it's obviously again what you said. It's the grass is not always greener.
Yeah, like he thought he needed to get out of the
Yeah.
town and go to Earth and make everything perfectly fine,
Everything
with my
had
type of Christmas.
yeah, yeah,
So he goes back after realizing that Halloween and Christmas don't really mix that well. It's like oil and water and blood. Um, we get the really quick boss battle. Effectively, Jack just storms in there. Oogie Boogie's about to dump him into this lava stuff, and out of nowhere, Jack just magics them away out of the table, and then he's on the table.
Well,
And
I love they have the casino kind of the guns. The soldier is shooting the guns, and he's standing on the guns, and like that whole scene is
well, they're
like
one-armed bandits. Do you not get
yeah.
that? You know, like the
Oh,
casino
yeah.
machines, one-armed
But,
bandits.
but if you look at it, like imagine how hard it was. Like you look at how that was made, the stop motion. How fucking difficult was that to make?
Well, there was parts where Jack is like pulling at Christmas lights,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that made it look like he was actually pulling something down that had a bounce to it. And it was like to do that in stop motion is really difficult because by the time you've already taken all the shots, you could just be out by an inch and it just looks unnatural.
yeah.
So it was done really well. We have the final face off. We have the cards with the knives, the flippy knives, chup, chup,
Yeah.
chup, chup, chup. And then we have the one-armed bandits. They come out, and then Oogie Boogie's about to get shot by them. So Jack jumps up on top of the guns,
Yeah.
and then Oogie Boogie goes, "Aha! Now time to release my flying death saw." It perfectly placed along the place, and it cuts off all the hands of the one-armed bandits. Ding, 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 ding. And then he is regretting that decision because now he has a giant saw coming after him. So he hops on top of the big 8-ball in the middle of the room, and a little bit of thread came off, a little wisp of thread. And then all Jack does is just go, ugh, and he puts it in. Oh no, I think it gets caught on one of the spinny
Yeah,
things.
he wraps it up on top of the
It's the
fucking
little
spinning
thing down below. That's it. And
Yeah.
Jack takes the thread, pulls it, and then he
Yeah.
starts to unravel, and then he gets stuck in the spinny thing.
What
So
have you done, my bugs?
there's two cool bits about that. The spinny thing is done in live action. So that's actually done at the same speed. And then everything around it is post-production with stop motion. Imagine how difficult it would have been to make not only a solid figure, but a solid figure with individual moving bugs in that figure, and then make it look like it's moving as well. Really impressively done.
It stands the test time because it's fucking outstanding.
It looks creepy as hell. The
Yeah.
fact that when he decomposes down and all of the bugs disappear into the molten little stuff down
Yeah.
below, and Sally is delighted. She's shocked and honored to be there. We then get the nice little ending. Oh no, Santa is the one that crushes the bug. It wasn't Sally or Jack. It was Santa all along.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And then we get Santa absolutely pissed off. Someone's on the naughty list this year. Jack doesn't get a thing. Sally's delighted though that Jack is probably not going to do anything any longer in terms of Christmas. And it's up to Santa to save everything. They're like, it's too late. And it's like, well, I'm Santa. I'll fix it all on Christmas. Santa comes along, cleans up all of the horrible gifts and the shrunken heads that people have been given. And then all is well with the world. Jack starts, oh, you know what? Actually, Santa does give them a gift.
He does. Of course he does.
It's a gift of snow.
Yeah.
He makes it
But it
snow
goes
there.
skiing and shit.
Thanks, Santa. We then...
But that's at the end of the movie.
Well, Jack and then Sally stand on top of the mountain. That's all, that little spirally mountain. That's all frozen. They have a little bit of a sing-song together. And then they call each other friends as well, again.
Friends.
Yeah, they call each other friends throughout the whole entire film, basically.
They give each other kisses.
They don't have lips.
They
And you know what? They're probably not even her lips. They're just somebody
I
else's.
don't know.
So,
Something happens.
yet another film where I like to over-explain everything, and Darren, doesn't like to explain anything. He just mooded the film, and then Derry turned out a fantastic picture. Look at that picture.
If I can get the lights on it right, because pencil.
Fabulous. I'm going to do a zoom in here.
Hang on till I get the.
You got your light all ready?
Hang on, I'm going to block this for a sec.
That's your hand.
Yeah, just getting the focus. I
Fucking
still
knows.
want to do, you know, the way you look at Nightmare Before Christmas stuff and everything it's the same art over and over and over again.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the same characters over and over again. So I was like, I loved these weird little presents that they were giving out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought,
Again, very Beetlejuicy. I like it.
it fits my style of giving weird Christmas presents. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Ta-da.
So, yeah, that's the end of the film, everybody. I hope you had a good night watching us, listening to us.
I was here for some of it.
Darren was here. He's seen some of it. You
Oh,
should
I
watch
did.
it. You know what
I
you
was
should
there.
do? You should subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you can watch the full thing up there. So, I'm talking to you, Darren.
Oh, well,
Yeah, you need to watch it back and see what you meant.
Yeah, you have to watch it all back. There'll be an exam at the end of it.
There are bits that you won't like.
Thanks
shit.
everybody for coming along again. We're always broadcasting every Monday at 8 o'clock on Twitch. Friday, the video is up on YouTube between the hours of 12 and 5ish. It'll probably be it'll be about 5 o'clock this week. So go onto YouTube, subscribe, pop on. We're probably going to be doing something a little bit different with the format this time. You know, these are long podcasts and we would like to cut them down into maybe shorter forms as well. So we'll have a look at doing that. But any suggestions that you have, do let us know. Comment down below. Come onto the Twitch. You can sit there and not say anything, or you can chip into the channel if you want. Or you can comment and disagree or agree. Maybe you could tell me I'm wrong. Maybe you could agree with Darren and shout me out of the conversation. I would like that. I'd like, you know, to be maybe proved wrong. It hasn't happened yet, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to turn your camera off, Derry. Goodbye. So thanks again for joining us.
You can't mute me.
Next week, we will be watching my film. And my film pick is It's a Wonderful Life. If you haven't watched It's a Wonderful Life, watch it. It's a wonderful film. Merry Christmas, movie house! Watch it. Jimmy Stewart. One of my favorite Christmas films. Watch the black and white version. Don't watch the colored version.
Seen it, so I'm watching it with you.
You can watch it with us. And I'll tell you all about it. There's a big story with communism and Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, no.
You'll love it. It's great because there's another film that I watched that he had to make because of that film, and it was horrible. Well, it wasn't horrible, but it was bad. So we'll see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Monday, 8 p.m. GMT. That's Greenwich Mean Time. Or if you want to be fancy, do we have an Irish Standard Time? IST?
UTC is like Universal Internet Time, so UTC is actually the same as GMT.
Yeah, UTC. It sounds like a urinary tract infection, doesn't it? So join us here next Monday, 8 p.m. GMT, UTC. Enjoy yourself. Have a lovely rest of your week. And yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.